How did I overcome my fear of failure? Well, in this episode of the Casa de Confidence podcast and the Little Shot of Confidence, I'm going to talk about how. So stay tuned to the end because I'm going to give you some of my best tips. But first, I want to tell you a story. You know, I love stories. I was listening to the Jay Shetty podcast. Well, not really listening. I was watching it on YouTube as I was getting ready. And he had Ed Mylett on the show. And, you know, I've heard Ed speak here and there, but the story that he shared really drew me in. And it is what I needed to hear on that day. I don't mind me if I get a little weepy because it's amazing. Okay. So Ed was talking about how he his dad was someone who was an alcoholic and his dad stopped drinking. And for many years his dad spent time giving him love, encouraging and pouring into him because he became a better dad once he quit drinking. And as he looks back in his life and he was thinking about that, he realized that his dad stopped drinking because he had someone who was a sponsor. And that person also made the choice to stop drinking. And by that choice that that person made him eventually be able to sponsor Ed Mylett's dad. And in turn, Ed Mylett was able to now, because of all the love his dad poured into him, go out and serve others and change the world and do what he does, right? And I am a recipient of what not only his dad pouring love into him, but also going back to that sponsor that made the choice to stop drinking and help Ed Mylett's dad. So, for the reality of our lives is that the fear of failure and the things that we want to accomplish are not going to be easy. Fear of failure is not something that we just turn on and off like a switch. And additionally, what we want to accomplish doesn't happen overnight. I know that for many of us, we think that, it's an instant world. We see people rise and we things happen overnight. But the reality is that things have to have many multiple steps. This week, I actually woke up and I had spoken to clients on Monday and Tuesday, and certainly my schedule was pretty jam packed. And as my schedule got really busy, I started to really question, am I making a difference? Am I helping my clients? Am I even like, what's the purpose of me talking to all these people, whether it be on the podcast or anything else? And of course, that's when our mind really starts going. And, is that thought true? It's the first thing that I really needed to ask myself. Is that true? And as I kept asking the question, did I really not make a difference in the things that I've done? Have I really been wasting my time by launching a business, having a podcast, helping others launch their own podcast, build a business that's sustainable? And as I felt sorry for myself, I realized that I may never know the choices that I'm making today to show up, even though it's hard, will make a difference in the lives of the people that I will never meet, in the lives of the people that needed to hear the thing that I am sharing with them. Changing our mindset is not easy, and it's not something that we're always going to feel good. We are going to have our days, right? We are going to have the times in which we don't feel like getting out of bed or that we're driving around and things keep piling up. But happiness is not about feeling happy. Happiness is having the contentment of knowing that you chose hard, that you chose to show up, even though you may not even know what will happen when you do show up. I think that changing our mindset again is something that is harder when we are going through hard times. But that is really the time that you need to remind yourself, hey, I'm going through a hard time. I need to show up. I need to ask myself if what I am thinking about this hard time is true. We really need to take steps to be the person that we envision. We really need to take steps to be the one person that will be that vision that we have today. I have a vision of who Julie is going to be in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, and in 20 years. And all of those things really come together in this moment, in the time that I open a Zoom to talk to people or have a conversation on the phone with a client. We have to max out the opportunities that we have today. We have to max out the opportunities to share our gifts because, my friend, even though at times you don't feel it, you have innate gifts and you have other gifts that you are working on making better. I wanted to also share the other part that Ed Mylett said, because Jay Shetty said, how do you know that you're being productive? And you got to go watch it. So I'm not going to go into all of it. But there's one thing that he said that he does that makes a big difference. And is that at noon, he goes back and he sees, what did I accomplish so far? And sometimes we don't even look at what we have done or how we have done it and what impact, or are we moving in the right direction that we set out to do? And when we don't look at that, then we end up maybe deviating from where we want to be. Course correction can be most effective if we know that we need to course correct. As soon as we know, we can get back on track. So find your momentum, find your spot in which you get to question your brain when it's telling you that you're not making a difference. Find the people also that you're just going to connect, even if it's for a mundane conversation, because perhaps in that mundane, everyday, inconsequential conversation to you, it could be life changing for somebody else. If you're questioning, am I going to be successful in my business? If you are questioning whether or not you have what it takes, question that thought, question that belief. And even if you don't get the answer, and even if you don't feel that, yes, I switch my brain, show up. Show up because you're showing up not only for yourself, but for the ripple effect that you showing up will have. So, how do I get over my fear of failure? I don't. I just keep going and I keep showing up. When I showed up this week after questioning whether I'm a failure, whether I'm making an impact and all of that, and being in this, terrible frame of thought, I jumped in a Zoom with somebody and I said to myself, you know what? Whatever. I don't feel great. I don't feel like I'm making a difference, but I'm going to bring my A game to this person because this person made the time to be with me. And the first thing that this person said to me when I opened the Zoom, and this is where I'm going to get a little verklempt. She said, "Thank you so much for meeting with me today. I wanted to be able to tell you that I've listened to your show, that I listened to the podcast, and I've gone back to some of the interviews, and I am inspired. I'm in my 70s, and I thought that I was being put out to pasture, but you have given me the opportunity to see the amazing individuals that are a part of your show and how, if it's possible for them, if it's possible for you, it's possible for me." And I love that. So, my friend, it's possible for all of us as long as you choose to make it possible. So, share this episode of The Little Shot of Confidence with a person that you know may benefit from this. I love that you're tuning in, and I am so incredibly grateful that you are in this journey with me because we need each other. This world wants to separate us, and really, what we need is connection. So I invite you to go confidently in the direction of your dreams. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you don't miss an episode. So hit the bell, subscribe, tell me what you think also. Tell me if this made sense to you. And also, if you go and see the Ed Mylett story where he tells it a little more eloquent because it's his story, right? Let me know. Let me know what you think. So until next week, thank you so much for tuning in, my friends. You are incredible. And this community needs you.